Welcome to Almost Live. I'm your host, Shane Phillips, and I'm here with the notorious Ziad Makhzoumi. Ziad, welcome.
Thank you.
So it's great to have you. And I mean, I think you've worked on so many of the kind of landmark clients here in the Middle East, from helping build up Future Pipe to working with Arab Tech to the big M&A with IVF Faki. And now, of course, with the restructuring of Drake and Skull. What's your outlook for 2020 and beyond for the job market, for the economy? What are your predictions?
Well, I mean, one thing that we have to be aware of what the opportunities are, and for different reasons. Even in 2008, when in Arab Tech, what was happening in the UAE probably was different than what was happening in Saudi Arabia in those days, or what was happening in Kuwait, for different reasons. Talking 2008. When the banking system collapsed and the real estate market suffered badly. Saudi Arabia, because it wasn't open and it didn't have all these projects happening at the same time, the real estate market did not suffer as much. So I remember in the days of Arab Tech, we shifted our staff and resources and equipment to Saudi because that was the market that was needed. And I think we're facing the same thing here now. We had lots of factors causing some uncertainty about the market. One of them, again, the effect of the real estate probably being overheated again, and supply is there. And because we're driven basically, or a major factor in Dubai specifically is the real estate project. Abu Dhabi has a different issue because they have oil and gas. Sharjah just found some gas, which is a very interesting finding that would support their economy and so on. The market conditions for the different areas are different. So in 2008, all of a sudden there was a shift in Abu Dhabi on the job scene. Now we're seeing a shift to Saudi Arabia because it's open and it's opened up and so on. Qatar is still in a flux situation because of the relationship and so on. But again, it is an interesting market, but it's not a big market. But the biggest market is Saudi Arabia. And Saudi, at the moment, they require a lot of talent. I mean, we still need a lot of talent here because we're repositioning the economy. So if you look at the latest statistics, we're not as dependent on oil and gas as we did 40 years ago. Technically, we used to be 80-odd%. Now we're about less than 30%. So the shift is there. And we're building the whole sectors of hospitality, of travel, of transportation, of logistics, of company incorporation, and so on. So the outlook, again, it's a matter of relativity. So when things were very bad in Europe and in the US because of the banking issues and the mortgage issues, things affected us because people could not afford to buy things here, although we had nothing to do with the banking sector problem. Immediately it affected the stock market, and as a return, it affected the stock market in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So in 2008, when the market crashed in Europe and the US. So, but the economy, if you look at the IMF and the World Bank predictions, the economy is healthy. I mean, it was big. I mean, it was growing at a bigger rate, and the opportunities were there, but it's becoming more of a mature economy. 40 years ago, the population was less than 1/3 of what it is now. The services were not there. Now, we're going into economies and we're attracting foreign investment and we're attracting different cultures for different reasons. Education as a sector is growing. We have, in Dubai alone, 30,000 foreign students who don't live here, their families, but they study here. 10,000 of those are Chinese. So you can see the shift that is happening, that is coming. So the outlook, the economy is in good shape. The opportunities are being more competitive and more squeezed, driven basically with certain sectors, with the overflow of certain sectors. We witnessed the real estate adjustment in 2008. We're witnessing it again now. But we hope that excess will be absorbed through the Expo 2020 that's happening this year, basically. But again, that's a short-term solution. So it might create some demand and help. But the whole structure is changing. The whole demand of skills sets that are needed and training and expertise is changing. We're shifting into the service industry. So it's not enough to be a good salesperson. You must have a skill. You must be able to be technology savvy. You need to be trained. And again, as we were discussing before we started, the whole education system has to support that. So the economy is in good shape compared to other economies. In the UK, we'll probably have more negative growth in the coming few quarters. But then again, now that we're out of Brexit, things are not as certain. Germany is facing slowdown. The rest of the big economies in Europe, we know China is still in a growth mode, but not as it was. So all this will affect us, because at the end of the day, people need certainty, people need confidence, and people need the cash to pay for it. So if your business is not doing well because decisions are not made, or the orders has been delayed, or the big road project has been extended for 2 years, all that will affect the requirement for skills and the market in general.
Now we're seeing the real estate market just keeps dropping. And every time we take a little more, they say, oh, we're at the bottom, we're at the bottom, we're at the bottom. What's your prediction there? I mean, for Dubai?
I think the last 4 years we've been going through the correction cycle. Part of it is that they were repositioning Dubai as a hub, so that those infrastructure projects had to be there, and we had to extend Dubai before what it was before, because it was getting congested, or the prices were becoming unreasonably high, and so on. But I think we need further adjustment, because there is an oversupply of units. Last year, I think there was around possibly over 40,000 units that should have been delivered, were not delivered. And this year there's probably around 60,000 needs to be delivered. So that's 100,000 units. 100,000, if you take an average family of 4 or 5, we're talking 500,000 new residents of Dubai, which probably could be temporary but long term. You will have the visitors. We're expecting 25 or 30 million visiting. Some people will stay, some people will buy, but I don't think we can absorb all that. So we hope we have a plan to make them stay. And I mean, we do have the plan. Since we're inviting foreign investment, we're waiving fees, we're allowing companies to own 100%. We're changing all sorts of things just to attract people to come in. We're giving 10-year residency visas, we're giving retirement visas, So we're doing everything possible to make it attractive. But again, we're still driven by the real estate market. And at the moment, there is excess supply than demand. That needs to be taken out. And we hope that possibly after 2020, there will be an adjustment and not keep on building.
We're here with Ziad Makhzoumi. I'm your host, Shane Phillips. Thanks for watching Almost Live.